Hey Ari, thank you so much. I've been following your stuff ever since my first job at the bank back in 2003.
Wow.
But since then I've left the financial world, and I'm a web developer focusing on complex integrations,
Yeah.
optimization, and conversions. So my biggest problem is probably myself, honestly. I'm trying to upgrade my clientele, my client base. I'm going to the next three uh, pricing brackets. So there's going to be some cold outreach involved, and I have three main concerns. The first one is the whole. I've always gotten the, well, you called me, and then they immediately switch into, well, I'm the one in the power right now. So really, I think if anything's going to happen, it's going to go my way. And then the second thing is, in my industry, when I'm doing agency partnership calls, agencies will call me on and start asking me how I would solve certain problems. And then I say, oh, well, that's what the money is for. But, I don't say it like that. And then the third one is, like, honestly, at my pricing level, I do want to be seen as the expert. So how do I bridge the gap from, like, hey, I'm coming out of nowhere. This is a cold email or a cold call, and yet you have to follow what I'm saying
All right.
if you want things to work.
All right. So if you're in a high margin business, low volume, right? Which I
Mhm.
think you're talking about, a
Yes.
couple clients a month at your fee
Right.
might be a great month, right?
Great. It would be fantastic.
Okay. Okay. That's doable as long as you change your thinking out of outbound mode. What you have to do is shift to how do I create an inbound demand creation where I'm positioned as the expert and they're coming to me. Okay, so if you're in a high volume, low margin model, you need to sell a lot of small price point items. Fine, you can play the numbers game, but you don't have the effort, you don't have the time and energy to be calling somebody who's not accepting of your conversation. So, what you need to do is reverse engineer this, meaning start with who's your ideal client? Who is your ideal client?
Well, on the one end, it's an agency that has a lot of
So,
high-end
it's a
clients.
middleman, not the client themselves.
Well, and then the other side is precast concrete builders and suppliers.
Okay, stop right there. So the agency model was going through a channel, going through two hops. Got to go through the
Yep.
agency, then the client. Skip that for now. First, crack the code on how to get a direct client without a middleman. It's a lot easier, believe it or not. And the
Mhm.
beautiful thing about you is you already have a niche, it sounds like, this concrete construction niche, which is amazing. Because the more narrow space you have, the more you can become what I call a category of one. So, what you need to do, Joshua, is we need to not market yourself or your services, but we need to market the specific problems and issues that concrete guys or gals struggle with in their business. Because the problems themselves will become the magnet that where they'll come to you as the expert. Now it sounds so contrarian because you were thinking my job is to sell my service and sell me. No, your job is to sell the problems for them to go, oh, I've got that issue. I've got that issue. I've got that issue. Oh, and
All right.
he's an expert in that issue. Oh,
Mhm.
and he's in my industry. Well, I should go talk to him. That's the psychology what has to turn in their mind to do that. That's like phase one. And we can talk more privately about the rest of this. But I
Sure.
want you to start thinking about how to realign these ducks in a row so we can create a model where they're coming to you on a silver platter, on like a conveyor belt. Because all we need is a
Okay.
couple a month to have an amazing year, right?
Right. Right.
Well, they're already in a pond somewhere that someone else
Mhm.
has already collected. So hopefully that gets you started thinking a little differently.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Finding the pain and then selling the
Well,
relief.
you don't have to find the pain, Joshua. You already know what the problems are, don't you? You know what issues they struggle with in their business that you can help them solve. I would assume you
Mhm.
would know that already to some
Sure.
extent.
Sure.
Of course. So you're not fishing for the problems. That's the old model. What problems do you have? No. You're going to enter the process already knowing what their core problems are. which in most cases you have in the back of your mind. So
Right.
we'll work on refining that over time, but that's
Okay.
what I'm thinking about this. Okay.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much.
All right, Joshua. Thanks a lot.